Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Good afternoon and welcome to a chilly and windy Winterholder Field here on the campus of Taylor University for this afternoon's Crossroads League baseball doubleheader between the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars and the Taylor University Trojans. Rick Johnston here with you today in a properly built press box with no wind being allowed in, so we are the lucky ones here today. Everybody bundled up as winter has come back to rear its ugly head here today after beautiful temperatures last week for the doubleheader sweep for the Trojans up there at Grace. Temperatures were in the mid-70s, short sleeves for everybody out there playing, and then we came back to reality at the start of this week. Taylor comes in 29-10 overall, 9-5 in the Crossroads League. And a win in either of today's doubleheader contests will give the Trojans their 9th straight season of at least 30 wins. They're 18-1 here at home. Mount Vernon Nazarene comes in 19-16 overall. They're 8-9 in the Crossroads League, and they're 3-6 in true road games this year. Taylor won the first game of this series a few days ago back on April 10th, 10-0, with Clay Riggins picking up the win, for the Trojans on the mound that day. He will start game number 2. The starter here in game number 1 is the Trojans' ace this season, the 6-foot senior right-hander, Matt Patton. And the first one will be fouled off the inside part of the leg of the shortstop, Chris Klein, for a ball. Matt comes in with an 8-3 overall record, starting his 12th game of the year, appearing in his 14th. An ERA of 1.72, 68 innings tossed on the year. He has 81 strikeouts, just 5 walks. He's allowed 17 runs, 13 of which have been earned. The second one low and away for ball number 1. 2 complete games for Matt. Opponent's batting .201 off of him this year. The third one, a breaking ball into the bottom part of the zone for a called strike 2. Chris Klein, a 5'10 freshman from Millersburg, Ohio, enters the day batting at .341 with 5 doubles and 13 runs batted in. He sits on a low breaking ball here, and the count levels up at 2-2. Temperature 36 degrees. The real field temperature makes it feel like it's just at freezing or just a little bit below. And the 5th pitch is low and makes the count full 3-2. Wind blowing from left to right between 10 to 20 miles an hour here today. Full count to the leadoff man, Klein. Inside half of the plate freezes Klein for strike number 3. He was jogging down to first. The inside pitch from Patton is in there for strikeout number 1 on the day. One out, no one on for the center fielder, Nick Mosier, who's the first lefty in the lineup today for MVNU. He'll swing and miss at the first one here to lead off the at-bat. The defense behind Patton today, Nathan Taggart at first, Tanner Colby at second, Josh Lane at short, Brett Lawson is at third. The 0-1 misses away to the lefty, 1-1. Wyatt Whitman is in left, Sam Weiss in center, Jared Atkins in right, and Tanner Watson, the man behind the plate, here this afternoon in game number 1. 1-1 to Mosier. Chopper up the middle. Colby fields, fires. And leaning over to his right and making the catch is Taggart, and there are 2 gone here in the top of the first. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Jesse Stout. 6-foot junior out of Pennsylvania. As he draws across in the artificial surface to the left of the batter's box with the knob of the bat. Breaking ball from Patton. Chopped foul. 2 outs, nobody on here, top of the first. This is game 1 of the doubleheader. It's scheduled to go 7 innings today, with game 2 set to go for the full 9. Second one. Outside half and low, 1-1. Stout comes in batting .374, 11 doubles, a triple and 11 home runs, slugging .804 this year for Mount Vernon Nazarene. He'll swing and miss at a slider away, and he falls behind 1-2. Nobody on, 2 outs, no score, top of the first. As Taylor tries to pick up their 4th win in a row, and that one will bounce in to even the count at 2 apiece. 14 games left in the regular season. And the 2-2. Outside half, that one just misses for strike 3. The count now full once again. Count was full for Klein. He struck out looking on an inside pitch. We'll see what Patton wants to serve up to Stout here with 2 outs and nobody on. That one will be sent towards Atkins in right field. Going back, he looks up, and that one will clear the fence for a 2-out solo home run as Stout rides the wind. It's his team best 12th home run of the year for Patton. That's the first home run he's allowed all year. And Mount Vernon Nazarene jumps out to a 1-0 lead here with the solo shot over the right field fence with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. So a 1-0 lead for MVNU on their best bat here of the season as the senior Stout takes Patton deep for the first time here in 2018. First baseman Jake Glover, another lefty. Hard hit right side, Taggart there. Will field to the sprinting Patton for out number 3. So a 2-out solo home run on a 3-2 pitch from Jesse Stout is how the top of the first will go down in the scorebook today. Taylor bats for the first time when we come back after this commercial break. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing.
So TU batting for the first time here today. It'll be Wyatt Whitman, Tanner Watson, and Nathan Taggart. And the first one Whitman takes down the middle for a called strike. Starter on the mound today for MVNU, number 31, Peyton Booth, a 6'2 sophomore right-hander out of Heath, Ohio. He goes to the outside half of the plate. They appeal down. Our field umpire not looking at our home plate umpire, so it'll go down as ball one to Wyatt Whitman. Third one, inside, too far inside, 2-1. Wyatt, this week's Crossroads League Player of the Week. In 4 games last week, had 3 home runs, 8 runs scored, and batted .385, including 8 extra base hits. 2-1 curveball. That one upstairs. Whitman nods his head, and it's 3-1. Booth, a 1-5 overall record, a 4.53 ERA. He has struck out 35 and walked 22. There's a dribbler up the first base side. It'll bend foul. Fielded by the first baseman, Jake Glover. And the count full to the Trojan leadoff man here in the bottom of the first. That is Wyatt Whitman. Wyatt comes into the day batting .310, 5 doubles, 3 triples, and 4 home runs. The triples and home runs lead the Trojans in both categories. Wind again blowing out towards right center field. Payoff pitch. Whitman sits on it and drives it to right. And going back and making the catch in deep right field's Jesse Stout for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. Defense behind Peyton Booth here today. Devin Pearl's in left, Nick Mosier in center. We just met Stout, who's over there in right. Jack Griffith is over at third. Chris Klein is at short. Adam Goodpaster's at second. Jake Glover, we met him, he is at first. And Drew Ritchie is the man behind the plate. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the first for TU as they trail Mount Vernon Nazarene by 1. Tanner Watson, the catcher today, takes the first one off speed for a strike at the belt. Tanner's second best batting average for the Trojans at .357. A late swing, and it will be fouled out of play to the right to put him back 0-2. Tanner 1 for 4 with an RBI the first time these two teams met. And he takes the third pitch low and away for ball number 1. Tanner with 50 hits, second on the Trojans in that category. 10 doubles, tied for third in that category. Curveball, he'll foul tip and just stay alive, and it remains 1-2. Taylor head coach Kyle Gould, the coach over at third base today, the Hall of Famer Rick Atkinson over there coaching first. A ball and 2 strikes to Tanner Watson. Nobody on, 1 out. And that one off the outside part of the plate, bounces out of the glove of the catcher Ritchie. And the count squares at 2 apiece. Cole Barkas and Luke Shively warming up in the Taylor bullpen as Watson down on a curveball. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first for Nathan Taggart, first K of the afternoon for Peyton Booth. So we'll see if Taggart can have the same type of success that Jesse Stout did in the top half of this inning when he had a solo home run with 2 outs. Inside pitch to the righty Taggart for a ball. Second one inside as well, and he goes ahead 2-0. Taggart, another stellar season, batting .449, leads the Trojans in that category. Also has a team best 61 hits and 14 doubles. 2-0, trying to go opposite way with it. A late swing, that'll sail out of play to the right, 2-1. Taggart, one of a handful of guys here in the lineup today for TU that does have the power to go opposite way with it, which is the way the wind is blowing. 2-2 low, and that bounces away from Ritchie, and now it's 3-1 in Taggart's favor. He's got the DH, Andrew Kennedy, waiting on deck as Taylor trails by 1 here in the bottom of the first. 3-1 curveball. Taggart will chop this one up the middle. Fielding, it's good pass for the second baseman. A low throw, but a good pick by Glover at first. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Taylor here in the bottom of the first inning. We've played one here from Taylor University, and Mount Vernon Nazarene leads Taylor 1-0. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com. We've played one inning of baseball here in Upland, Indiana this afternoon. It's Mount Vernon Nazarene 1 and Taylor 0 after the 2-out home run by Stout there in the top of the first. The DH, Ashton Myers, will lead it off for the Cougars here in the top of the second. Patton's breaking ball outside the zone, high and away for a ball. Myers, a 6'1 junior from Zanesville, Ohio, batting .277 this year. Swings a neon yellow bat. Inside pitch almost spun him around. It's 1-1. Myers is 0 for 2 in the first game of this series last week. 1-1. Low on the artificial surface to make it 2-1. Taylor comes into the day a game and a half back of Indiana Wesleyan for second place. 3 games back of Huntington for first. Fourth one from Patton. Pulled foul, make it 2-2. And Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington scheduled to play each other in a doubleheader here this afternoon, so Taylor will obviously be checking the results of that contest after their 2 games with MVNU here this afternoon. 2-2 to the leadoff man here at the top of the second. Myers, he'll send this one towards Weiss in center, goes back, good jump, camps underneath, and there's one gone here at the top of the second for the visitors. Drew Ritchie wears number 24. He's a 6'1 junior, also from Zanesville, Ohio. And he was 0 for 2 in game number 1 between these two teams back on the 10th of April. Bottom part of the zone, first one in there for a called strike. Good pitch there from Patton to start the at-bat off. Ritchie, .319 the batting average, 4 doubles and 12 runs batted in. Second one, back towards Weiss's way in center. He comes in, he'll make the catch on the jog. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the second for MVNU, both on flyouts to Sam Weiss in center field. We look down there, we see only one brave soul with no long sleeves on today. That's Taylor third baseman Brett Lawson. Outside part of the plate, and a called strike to the lefty Devin Pearl. The roster lists Lawson's hometown as Margate, Florida, but I doubt a lot of Margate, Florida natives would be wearing short sleeves in this type of weather. So a little Midwest rolling through the old veins of Lawson over there at third. Second one low to Pearl. It's 1-1 as Patton deals out of the windup. This one will find the gap in right center field. Another 2-out hit here for MVNU. The difference, this one doesn't leave the yard like the first one did. There's a runner at first here for MVNU with 2 outs in the top half of the second. They lead Taylor 1-0. So we'll see what Adam Goodpaster can cook up here. He's another lefty for Mount Vernon Nazarene. As he bats with 2 outs and a runner at first, his team ahead by 1. Patton out of the stretch for the first time here this afternoon. And the first one away from the lefty Goodpaster for ball 1. Sun trying to peek out behind the clouds here this afternoon. Second one to Goodpaster inside. He foul tips it back to the backstop to square the count at a ball and a strike. Taylor winners of 18 straight here at home. 18-1 the overall record. Mount Vernon Nazarene just 3-6 in true road games this season. They come in 6th place in the league standings with an 8-9 overall record in the league. Pickoff attempt to first, Tagger at the tag, and Pearl dives back safely. Wind blowing out towards right center field and the right field foul pole between 10 to 20 miles an hour. Mount Vernon Nazarene up 1-0. Now back over to first. This time leaping back to the bag will be Pearl. Mount Vernon Nazarene's been picked off 7 times this year as a team. 1-1, kicking home. Low and away, 2-1 on the fastball. Goodpaster batting .231 this year, 3 for 13. He's a 6-foot freshman out of Carlisle, Ohio. 2-1. Off the end of the bat to square the count 2-2. Wind picking up in great intensity as it rips and whips the jersey and pants of Matt Patton on the mound. Looks over at the runner over his left shoulder. And kicks and drives home with 2-2. This one lined into center field. Weiss playing in, but it'll 2-hop its way to him. That's back-to-back 2-out singles here from Mount Vernon Nazarene. They've got runners at first and second. Here leading 1-0 in the top half of the second inning. First time MVNU's been able to put 2 runners on here today. Game 1 of our doubleheader, scheduled to go 7 innings. 2 teams will play the 9-inning contest to wrap up the season series at the conclusion of game number 1. They've got runners standing at first and second, 2 outs, and they're ahead by 1. As the breaking ball misses up high from Patton for a ball. It's Jack Griffith at the plate, batting out of the number 9 spot today. He's a third baseman, wears number 11. 5'10" sophomore, batting .273. This one bouncing to the left, foul ground for the first strike. Mount Vernon Nazarene blue jerseys with green numbers trimmed in white, white letters on the front, white numbers on the front as well with white pants and blue pinstripes, blue socks, and navy blue batting helmets. Patton out of the stretch, the 1-1. Swings and misses at a slider, does Griffith, and it's 1-2. Taylor in their home white jerseys and pants today, with Taylor in cursive on the front, purple numbers on the back, purple socks and purple caps. 1-2 at the wind, now kicking out towards right center field with 2 on and 2 outs. Top of the second, and the slider to the outside corner will just miss by a hair, and the count squares at 2-2. Back-to-back 2-out singles, first from Pearl and then Goodpaster. They stand at second and first. As Griffith tries to keep things rolling here for Mount Vernon Nazarene in the top of the second, Patton will step off the mound to gather his thoughts. Wind kicking up once again, Patton out of the stretch, 2-2 home. And that breaking ball just a little bit high. The dugout thought that was good enough for strike number 3. Patton's been close to the zone a handful of times here in the first 2 innings. And the count now full to Jack Griffith. First and second with 2 outs. And again, that wind now changing directions, going right out towards right center field. And then Patton will step off the mound for a second time. Most of the infield still with their right hand in their back pockets, trying to stay warm. And now Patton's ready to fire home a 3-2. Runners go. This one fouled up and over our heads to the parking lot. A good start here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. The solo home run with 2 outs by Stout in the top of the first. The only run here so far today, but they've put together 2 more 2-out singles. Those runners stand at first and second base respectively. Another 3-2 from Patton. Swing and a miss. His second strikeout of the day. Keeps the 2 runners on there stranded at first and second. We'll see if Taylor can tie the game at 1 as we head to the bottom of the second. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965 when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Four, 5, and 6 coming up here for TU in the bottom half of the second with the DH Andrew Kennedy, the one to lead it off. A low off-speed pitch in there for a strike to the native of Goshen, Indiana. He'll be followed by Sam Weiss and Jared Atkins. This is ripped into center field. A good 0-1 approach there from Andrew Kennedy, and the first base runner on the day for the Trojans. He's the tying run as well. That'll bring up Sam Weiss. We mentioned how Brett Lawson going no sleeves. Sam going with just the typical old-school baseball 3/4 sleeve today. He's got his sleeves actually pulled up a little bit, showing off just a little bit of forearm today, trying to stay cool, which is not a problem in a 36-degree day. Fastball up high from Booth to Weiss for a ball. Some extra gear left too close to the on-deck circle for Mount Vernon Nazarenes. They have to pull that back into their dugout, which is situated to our right. Second one, breaking ball inside. It's 2-0 in favor of Weiss, the right-handed bat, playing center field today. Sam went 2 for 4 when these two teams met back on the 10th, had an RBI. He's got the leadoff man, Kennedy, at first. That one almost hits Weiss in the left hip. He's able to dart out of the way. And the count now 3-0 in his favor. Sam leads the Trojans in hit by pitches with 15. And that one will bounce between the legs of Ritchie. Kennedy will hustle down to second. And that's where he'll stay as Ritchie jogs and picks up the ball to the backstop. First 2 men have reached base safely here. That was a 4-pitch walk to Weiss, and that'll bring up last year's Crossroads League Player of the Year, Jared Atkins. As Taylor head coach Kyle Gould makes a quick march down to the dugout to impart some wisdom onto his team in the dugout to the left. Weiss a good week Atkins a good week last week. Comes into the day batting .271 as he tries to get going here towards the end of the season. One of 4 Trojans with double-figure doubles on the year. Jared with 10 on the nose, 3 home runs, also second in that category, behind Wyatt Whitman's team best of 4. After the mound meeting between Booth and Ritchie, they're ready to deal the first one to Atkins. First 2 men have reached base safely. Taylor down by 1 here as they bat in the bottom of the second inning. They try to push their winning streak to 4 and their home winning streak to 19. Atkins wants to bunt his way on here. That one will bounce foul. Jared, a 6-foot senior from Whiteland, Indiana. He's got Josh Lane, the shortstop, waiting on deck. It's Kennedy at second after his leadoff single. Weiss is over there at first after a 4-pitch walk. Wind again howling out towards the right field corner. Again, Atkins shows bunt. This one low. They throw down to second. Kennedy was a little bit too far off, but he dives back in time with a tag applied by the shortstop, Chris Klein. 1-1 the count to the right fielder, Jared Atkins, with a tying run and the go-ahead run on base right now, with Taylor down 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Jared batting out of the number 6 spot here this afternoon. He waits the 1-1. Bunt again, low on the fastball. 2-1. Josh Lane on deck, who's been swinging the bat better as of late. But Atkins with his speed, not a guaranteed sacrifice. A good opportunity here to see if he can load him up. Bunt again. This one high. Pulls the bat back in time, though. And now Jared goes ahead, 3-1. Booth not willing to give up the easy advancements for Kennedy and Weiss. Even though Atkins has shown bunt on all 4 of the pitches he's been thrown here so far in this at-bat. Nobody out. Men at first and second for TU. Bunt again. Atkins right back up the third baseline. That's a beautiful bunt. There's a throw to first. It's not even going to be thrown by Griffith. That thing was outstanding from Jared Atkins. Put it up the third baseline. That thing almost stopped on a dime, and now the base is loaded up for the shortstop, Josh Lane. So nowhere to put Lane, nobody out, and Taylor down by 1 here in the bottom of the second. Off speed misses away from the righty, and it's ball 1. After getting a 1-2-3 inning there in the top of the first, Taylor has gotten to Booth here with the first 3 men, all standing on the base paths right now. Curveball zips right in there inside half. Lane will take it to even the count at a ball and a strike. Infield playing in, anticipating a bunt here from Lane potentially. Big lead for Weiss at second. Fastball low in there. Ritchie able to cover it up. And that puts Lane ahead 2-1. Kennedy at third. Weiss, a healthy lead that he extends by the word over at second. Breaking ball high and away. It's 3-1. And now Booth in danger of walking not only his 3rd batter of the inning, not only his 3rd batter in a row, but also walking in the tying run. 3-1 to Lane, bases full, nobody out. Curveball, he'll foul it back to the netting, and now the count all full. Lane 1 for 3 when these teams met earlier this year. Also had a walk as well. Payoff pitch from Booth. Curveball, ground ball, left side. That one's going to get through, score at least 1. They'll wave Weiss in from second. And Josh Lane, with nobody out here in the bottom of the second, drives from the first 2 runs of the day for the Trojans. That puts them up 2-1. Here with still nobody out in the bottom of the second. So Lane sits on what looked like a breaking ball there and pulls it through the left side of the infield just past the diving Griffith over there at short.
Third baseman Brett Lawson.
And here comes, Brett Lawson was fooling with us. Runners go, curveball inside, nobody covering because Griffith was playing the bunt, so everybody's safe at second and third on the stolen bases here for Atkins at third and now Lane over at second. In the top half of this inning, Brett Lawson had no sleeves on. He bats here in the bottom of the second with sleeves. That's smart. Golfs it left side for the first strike of Lawson's at-bat. 1 ball and 1 strike the count with nobody out here in the bottom of the second, and Taylor leading 2-1 after the 2 RBI single from Josh Lane. He stands at second. Atkins, the man ahead of him, stands at third. Curveball away from Lawson, and the righty moves ahead 2-1. The first 4 men have all reached base safely for the Trojans. The first 2 have already come home. Inside, that's going to hit Lawson on the left elbow. And he'll jog down to first, and the base is loaded up once again. This time for Tanner Colby. But that'll be after a meeting of the minds on the mound for MVNU. A single, a walk, a bunt single, and another single and a hit by pitch are how the 5 men for Taylor performed at the plate here in the bottom of the second after being retired in order in the top of the first. They lead 2-1 here still with nobody out in this bottom half of the second inning. Colby, the only lefty in the Trojan lineup here this afternoon. Tanner was 1 for 2 in the first game against Mount Vernon Nazarene this season, as Rob Fox jogs over and collects an assortment of arm pads and different pads from first base coach Rick Atkinson. And so Colby will step in with the bases juiced. Second time Taylor's been able to load them up here in the bottom of the second. They're ahead 2-1. Booth, the righty, will miss away to the lefty Colby. Tanner comes in batting .333, 18 hits in his freshman campaign, 3 doubles, and 8 runs driven in. Curveball inside, that'll come in on the corner. And that makes the count even at 1-1. It's Atkins at third, Lane at second, and Lawson at first, so plenty of speed out there if Colby can get this one to the outfield. Third one, breaking ball high and away. Now it's 2-1. In the favor of Taylor's second baseman. Nobody out, and the base is full here in the bottom of the second. 2 runs already home for the Trojans. They lead by 1. Inside part of the plate, missing. It's 3-1 in Colby's favor. No one warming up for Mount Vernon Nazarene in their bullpen to our right. Booth in danger of giving up his second walk of the inning. It would also bring in the 3rd run here, the second stanza. Instead, Colby's going to pull this one to right field. That'll score Atkins easily from third. They'll hit the brakes on a good throw from the right fielder, Jesse Stout. And the bases remain full. That's an RBI single for Tanner Colby, and Taylor leads 3-1, still with nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. And the bases remain full.
Now batting left fielder Whitman.
3-1 the Taylor lead. 4 hits for the Trojans, all here in this inning. And they remain full for Wyatt Whitman. Curveball upstairs for a ball. Wyatt, the 7th batter here of the inning for the Trojans. They remain full for the junior out of Michigan. Curveball again upstairs. It's 2-0. He worked the count full his first time up, flew out to right field. Wyatt was 2 for 2 with a double, a home run, 2 runs batted in, 3 runs scored, and a walk. Back in that game on April 10th, they'll send this one to the right center field gap, and this one might clear the bases as it rolls all the way to the right center field gap in the bottom of the fence. They wave Colby around from first. The relay throw comes in. Colby will slide, and it'll be a 3-run double for Wyatt Whitman. And Taylor came into the bottom half of the second down by 1. They now lead 6-1 as Wyatt Whitman clears the bases. And the Trojans put a stranglehold lead on this contest here with still nobody out in the second frame. Still nobody out for Taylor here in the bottom of the second inning. As Watson shows a bunt, and will take a strike here from Booth. And now there is some action going on from Mountain Vernon Nazarene to the bullpen to our right. 5 hits, a walk, 6 runs home for TU here in the second. And the most recent hit, a bases clearing 3 RBI double from Wyatt Whitman. Second one, a curveball. Makes it 0-2 to Watson as he turns around and gets an explanation from our home plate umpire. Sun comes out from behind the clouds as the wind blowing out towards right field. The 0-2. And Watson protects and he'll foul it out of play to the right. Tanner down on strikes his first time up today. But 6 runs home already for the Trojans. They threaten to bat around here in the bottom of the second with nobody out. And Whitman standing at second with no one covering. The 0-2 is low to make it 1-2. Wyatt, the second best base stealer for the Trojans with 20 stolen bases and 21 attempts this season. He'll go here. Curveball, throw down to third, head first slide, and Whitman gets his 21st stolen base of the season. And the count 2-2 to the batter, Tanner Watson, was still nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Watson, the 8th batter of the inning here for the Trojans. Nobody out, runner at third. 2-2, curveball will get Watson swinging, dropped by Ritchie. Looks to runner back to third, throws down to first. And there's the first out of the inning here for MVNU.
First baseman Nathan Taggart.
Taggart grounded out to the second baseman Goodpaster to end the bottom of the first. He bats here with 1 out, and his classmate Wyatt Whitman standing over there at third base. Nathan, the 9th batter of the inning for TU. Curveball, ground ball left side, and they'll bring in the 7th run of the inning for the Trojans as Whitman darts in from third. First hit of the day for Taggart. 6th one of the inning for the Trojans. They lead 7-1 with all 7 runs coming here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up the leadoff man of the inning, Andrew Kennedy.
Now batting the DH, Andrew Kennedy.
Andrew single to center his first time up. This one sent on a fly ball to right center field. Making the catch is Stout for out number 2. Six hits, 7 runs for the Trojans here in the bottom of the second, as Weiss will bat for the second time here in the inning.
Now batting center fielder Sam Weiss.
Sun back out behind the clouds with Taggart, the man standing over there at first. Booth out of the stretch. Weiss will golf this one to right field. Stout doesn't have to move much, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So the Trojans bring 11 batters to the plate here in the bottom of the second. They score 7 runs on 6 hits, and after 2 innings, they lead 7-1 here over Mountain Vernon Nazarene. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
First pitch swung to Whitman and left. He'll make the easy catch for out number 1 as Chris Klein retired for the second time here today. We're in the top half of the third. A new game is broken after Taylor puts 11 men to the plate in the bottom half of the second. 7 runs on 6 hits, and they take a 6-run lead as the top of the third begins here. It'll be the center fielder Nick Mosier batting for the second time today. And the starter Patton picks up right where he left off after that extended break in the dugout. And it's a strike to Mosier. He grounded out to Colby at second, his first time up. Second one, a sidearm delivery from Patton this time. And it's 1-1. We saw a lot of that sidearm delivery from Matt during his junior year a season ago. Haven't seen a lot of it this season just yet. 1-1 bounces in, and he falls behind 2-1. The 8 wins for Patton ties his entire career total coming into this year. 2-1, outside part of the plate. Watson couldn't bring it back over enough. And now it's 3-1 to Mosier. A solo home run, the only run of the day. That was from Stout, who waits on deck. 3-1 from Patton. That one at the knees, and the count full to Nick Mosier, the center fielder. Mount Vernon Nazarene comes in 6th place in the Crossroads League standings. The Trojans in 3rd. 3-2. Ground ball back up the middle, and that one will bounce through just to the right of second base. 4th hit of the afternoon for Mount Vernon Nazarene. They've got a man on with 1 out. For Jesse Stout, the only run producer here of the afternoon so far for the visitors.
Now batting, right fielder Jesse Stout.
Stout, the 6-foot senior right fielder out of Cochranton, Pennsylvania. Got a fastball at the knees inside half for a called strike. Stout, the leader for MVNU in home runs, now with 12 on the year. The next closest to him, a handful of guys there with 2 long balls apiece. Patton, the righty, out of the stretch, taking his time, slowly moving that head up and down. Breaking ball left side, Lawson at third. They won't try to turn 2. He'll get the out over at first. For the second one here at the top of the third for MVNU, moves Mosier over to second.
Now batting, first baseman Jake Glover.
We saw Lawson with the no sleeves in the top half of the second. He has kept those sleeves down to the wrists here in the top of the third. 36 degrees the temperature today here in Upland, Indiana. Both Colby at second and Lane over there at short, with the ski masks pulled up right below their eyes. Breaking ball from Patton, low to the lefty Glover for a ball. He grounded out his first time up, 2 outs in the top of the third. Taylor has taken a 7-1 lead after 7 runs in the bottom of the second. This is game 1 of the doubleheader, set to go 7 innings. As the 2 teams wrap up their 3-game season series here this afternoon. Weather permitting, Taylor will be at first place Huntington tomorrow for a single 9-inning game at 6 o'clock. Lane covering at second. 1-0 to Glover home. This one just above the knees for a called strike. Huntington with the doubleheader today, as we mentioned earlier, with Indiana Wesleyan. So the first and second place teams scheduled to play at a double dip this afternoon before Taylor comes in there tomorrow. 1-1 from Patton, and Glover will foul it off to make it 1-2. Glover, a 6'1", 240-pound freshman out of Miamisburg, Ohio, came into the day batting .247. He's got a man at second, 2 outs, top of the third. Patton delivers, and he gets Glover to pop it up. Lane backpedaling at short. Short outfield grass, leans over, makes the catch at the hip for out number 3. MVNU strands a runner at second. We head to the bottom of the third. Taylor leading 7-1. This is Taylor Baseball
Your heart,
here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Batters 6, 7, and 8 will lead it off for Taylor here in the bottom of the third as they lead by 6. Atkins, Lane, and Lawson. Jared 1 for 1 today. A bunt single his first time up with runners at first and second. He's able to bunt them full. He's ahead 2-0 here. Curveball. Atkins sits on it. That will be in the bottom part of the zone, 3-0. His dad and brother rocking back in the lawn chairs down below us. The 3-0 to their son and brother, taken at the knees for a strike. Jared predominantly batting to the middle bottom parts of the order this year as he walks for the first time today to lead it off here in the bottom of the third. Second one allowed by Booth. They moved him up and down the order, trying to give him different looks, trying to get him going, and he's made a steady improvement here over the last few weeks.
Now batting shortstop Josh Lane.
The improvements could be the same could be said here for Josh Lane at the plate. Pick off over to first, and Atkins goes back. After Whitman's stolen base in the second inning, he and Atkins now tied for the team lead with 21 stolen bases. That breaking ball will just miss the left elbow of Lane. It's a 1-1, or 1-0, excuse me. Jared 21 for 28 on stolen bases this season. But after a struggle in the early part of the year, it's been pretty good there on the bases. Off speed, belt high, 1-1 to Josh Lane. Action continues in the Mount Vernon Nazarene bullpen to our right, with Taylor leading 7-1 as they bat here bottom of the third. Atkins stays, and the curveball will come back across the inside half to make it 1-2. Booth, the 1-5 overall record, a 4.53 ERA. Drills one over to first, and Atkins back with a no tag from the first baseman Glover. Runner goes, and Lane will get this one through the glove of the jumping Klein at short. Hit and run was on. Klein read it perfectly, and that one hit him pretty square in the hand. That might have been why the ball popped through his glove on a well-struck ball there from Lane. Josh 2 for 2 now today, and just like we saw on the bottom of the second, the first 2 men have reached base safely here in the bottom of the third.
Now batting third baseman Brett Lawson.
Taylor was able to get the first 7 men on base here in the bottom of the second. We'll see. They've already got the first 2 on here in the bottom of the third. Lawson will show bunt, and the breaking ball in there for a strike. Brett hit by a pitch in his left elbow his first time up. As Booth will pivot off the mound. Atkins at second, Lane over at first. And Lawson will smoke this one to right field. Stout going back. He looks up, and that one clears the right field fence. A 3-run homer for Brett Lawson as he rides the wind out to right center field. And the Trojans take a 10-1 lead here in the bottom of the third as Lawson's teammates come out and dance a little bit into the dugout to our left. That's the second home run of the year for Brett Lawson. And now athletic trainer Casey Hackman will come out and take a look at the left hand of the shortstop, Chris Klein. Remember, he had that line drive go through his glove on the line shot from Lane. Then a batter later, Lawson will take Booth deep. 3-run bomb for Lawson makes it 10-1 Taylor, with still nobody out in the bottom of the third inning. And now our Game 2 starter, Clay Riggins, still dancing outside the dugout. He is a happy fella for how cold it is. We do need to give credit. Our sports information director, Seth Michael, is the one that called. He took Brett Lawson in the pool today of who could hit a home run to the opposite field with the wind blowing out that way. So we tip our cap to Seth. Any other predictions you would need, his email is available at athletics.taylor.edu. 10-1 lead for the Trojans. They put up 7 in the bottom of the second. Lawson with the first 3 here in the bottom of the third. As they continue to take a look at that left hand of the shortstop, Chris Klein. Taylor back here at home this weekend where the temperature should be a little bit better in the 50s. Single game against Goshen under the lights at about 6 o'clock on Friday night, then the doubleheader at 2 o'clock against the Maple Leafs on Saturday. Then the Trojans won't be back until the very next week at the end of next weekend for the 3-game series with St. Francis on the 26th and then the doubleheader on the 28th. They'll round out the regular season on May 1st against Manchester, and then the entire Crossroads League tournament, which starts on May 4th, will be held here at Winterholder Field and will be broadcasted here on the Trojan Sports Network. So 4 games on that first day of May 4th. They'll have 2 winners bracket games, 2 losers bracket games on the 5th. They'll take a break for Sunday on the 6th, come back for the 7th and 8th, and then the very last day of the tournament scheduled for May 9th. The Trojans trying to make it back to the national stage for the first time in 2 seasons. They went there in 2016. Missed out last year, even though they had the record-breaking offensive season. Klein still trying to work that left hand out, and I think we'll have a substitution here at short. As Corey Clark has come in, and he will replace Klein over there at short. They'll have a new pitcher coming in as well for Mount Vernon Nazarene. So we'll get all the new changes for you when we come back from this commercial break. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com.
second baseman Tanner Colby.
Corey Clark has come into play second base here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. They'll move the starting second baseman Adam Goodpaster over to short to replace the starter Chris Klein, who continues to get his left hand looked at in the dugout. New pitcher is a right-hander, Christian Bacon for MVNU. He's a 5'8 junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. And the first man he'll face here is Tanner Colby. First three men have all reached base safely. They don't stand out there on the bases because Lawson drove him in with an opposite field home run a batter ago. 1-1 to Colby, with Taylor leading 10-1. Here's they bat with nobody out, bottom of the third. Colby, the lefty, against the right-handed throwing Bacon, and the curveball will slip out of his hands to make it 2-1. They get Colby to pop up the 2-1. And it's 2-2. Atkins led this bottom of the third off with a walk. Lane singled with that liner that went through the glove of Klein and hit him in the hand. It looks like he's injured it a little bit. That's why he's no longer there at short. And then Lawson brought everybody in with a homer over the right field fence. 2-2 upstairs to the lefty Colby, with nobody out and nobody on. Bacon appearing in his 6th game of the year. A 1-0 overall record with a 9.00 ERA. Payoff pitch, beautifully thrown to the outside corner, freezes Colby. There's one gone for Taylor here in the bottom of the third inning. So back to the top of the order we go, and Wyatt Whitman, who's 1 for 2 on the day, I should say, trying to go 2 for 3. He'll take the fastball low for a ball. Bases clearing, 3 RBI double his last time up. He later came in to score. He was the last runner to score in that 7-run bottom of the second, as the Trojans now lead 10-1 with 1 out, bottom of the third. 8 hits for TU today. 2 have been for extra bases. Off speed inside, ball 2. Wyatt went 2 for 2, as we mentioned, with a home run and a double. Also walked when the teams met back almost a week ago. Third one low. It's 3-0. Tanner Watson, the Taylor catcher, is on deck as his team leads 10-1. Batting in the bottom of the third in game 1 of our doubleheader today. Set to go for 7 innings. The 3-0. Fastball taken the whole way for a strike. Mount Vernon Nazarene coming in off of a pair of losses. They lost 8-5 in 7 innings and lost 13-3 in a run rule game at Marion this past Friday. 3-1 low, and that will walk Whitman down to first with 1 out. Like everybody here in the Crossroads League, they have been victims of poor weather. Has been Mount Vernon Nazarene. They were supposed to play Saturday, supposed to play Monday. That all got canceled. Same thing for Taylor. They're supposed to play Saturday, supposed to play Monday. No dice either day. 1 out, 1 on for Tanner Watson as he bats here in the bottom of the third. He's the only Trojan to not reach base safely today. He's down 0-1 here, and he's 0-2 on the day with a pair of strikeouts. Tanner, the former newcomer of the year in the Crossroads League. Predominantly a DH after his freshman year, as Whitman will dance off of first, and that catches the eye of Bacon on the mound. Wyatt with already 1 stolen base on the day, I should say. And then Watson well ahead of the breaking ball. He falls behind 0-2. Taggart, the first baseman, waits on deck. As Watson down 0-2 here with a runner at first and 1 out. His team up by 9 here in the bottom of the third inning. And now time is called as the baseball gets loose from the Mount Vernon Nazarene dugout up the right field line. Wind blowing out towards right center field as Watson awaits the 0-2 from Bacon. Curveball bounced in between the legs of Ritchie, and Whitman will stay standing over there at first. One ball, two strikes to the catcher, Tanner Watson. Bacon delivers. Watson or Whitman goes. Ground ball left side, and Watson on base safe for the first time today. Nobody covering third, so Whitman will set his sights there. He'll slide in safely. And men at the corners here for the ever-dangerous Nathan Taggart. As everyone in the order today for the Trojans have at least reached base safely at least once. And Watson will go to the warmth of the dugout, replaced by the courtesy runner Kyle Kelsheimer. First and third here for Nathan Taggart.
Now batting first baseman Nathan Taggart.
Taggart with an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2 today. Kelsheimer's just going to go all the way down to second with nobody even watching him. He could have walked down to second with Bacon's back turned to him. And there are runners at second and third now for Taggart, with the first pitch being a ball. Fourth stolen base on the day for TU. Second and third for the first baseman Taggart. And that one just hits the outside corner. 1-1 to Taggart. Every Trojan has reached base safely once today through the order, and all but one has at least one hit. 1-1 to Taggart with men at second and third, and that curveball almost hit him right between the 1 and the 4 on the back of his white jersey. It's 2-1. Josh Lane, the shortstop, the only multi-hit Trojan today. 2-1 to Taggart, trying to join Lane in that category. He will scoot out of the way. The count now 3-1. With the cold temperatures and the extended time that the Taylor offense has found themselves at the plate, Matt Patton trying to stay loose there in the bullpen to our left. Second and third, the runners for Nathan Taggart. The 3-1 from Bacon. He'll ground ball at left side. That one will get through. Second hit of the day for Taggart. Whitman will score from third. Second time that he's scored today. Second time it's an RBI single for Nathan Taggart. The Trojans lead 11-1 here in the bottom of the third with only one out for Andrew Kennedy, the DH.
Now batting the DH Andrew Kennedy.
$11 runs and 10 hits for the Trojans. That one will hit Kennedy in the left elbow. He'll shake it out and jog down to first with the bases full for Sam Weiss. For the second time in a row, the Trojans will at least put 9 batters to the plate in an inning.
Now batting center fielder Sam Weiss.
Weiss, the only Trojan without a hit here today. 0 for 1 batting for the second time. Bases full for the center fielder from Iowa. Curveball will loop in inside half for the called strike. Cody Tate cheering on Weiss from the dugout to our left. The 0-1. Curveball, that will hit him in the back. That will score Kelsheimer from third, and Taylor leads 12-1. Weiss still has not been able to get a hit here today, and it might be another pitching change here for MVNU with the bases juiced. As for the second inning in a row, Taylor will bat around. Here's they put up 5 here in the bottom of the third and lead 12-1. And our photographer, Dan Boyd, has now returned the Brett Lawson home run ball from there in the right field corner. Taylor batting around for the second inning in a row, as Atkins led this inning off with a walk. He scored on the homer by Brett Lawson. The Trojans up 12-1 here in the bottom of the third with only one out. Bases full. Taggart at third, Kennedy at second, and Weiss over there at first. Glover, the first baseman, playing behind Weiss over there. And the off-speed from Bacon, belt high, taken by Atkins for a strike. Jared has reached base safely the previous two times he's been to the plate. A single and a walk. He has scored both times as well. 0-1 from Bacon. Down the middle, they get Atkins to pop this one up a mile in the air. It'll stay in the infield. Griffith over there at third, shading to his left. He'll make the grab. For out number two, the base is still full for Josh Lane. Just like we saw with Taylor on the bottom of the second when the leadoff man came up for the second time in that inning. He was retired on the early in the count. That was Kennedy flying out to right on the first pitch he saw in his second at-bat in the bottom of the second. And Atkins retired on a pop-up on the second pitch on his second at-bat here in the bottom of the third. Josh Lane 2 for 2 on the day. Both singles has both scored. They've both been to the left side of the infield. The first time up, he drove in 2 runs. He has a chance to drive in 3 with the bases full here. Second one, right at the letters, off speed, and it's 1-1. 2 outs, bases full. Taylor up 12-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. The 1-1 from Bacon. And Lane underneath that one, foul tipping it into the catcher, Ritchie. It's 1-2. Bacon, the second pitcher used by Mount Vernon Nazarene here this afternoon. Came in after the 3-run bomb by Lawson. Another 1-2. Curveball low, covered up by Ritchie. And the count squares at 2 apiece. Josh and Taggart, who's the runner at third, the only 2 Trojans with multiple hits here in the first game of the doubleheader. And Lane trying to be the only one with 3 knocks. 2-2 from Bacon. Off the end of the bat, this one will curl in foul ground. Glover hustling after. He'll make a nice over-the-shoulder catch for out number 3. So the Trojans leave the bases full, but they put in 5 runs here in the bottom of the third, and they lead 12-1 after 3. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
First pitch, that will just get past the diving Lawson over there at third. It'll roll up the left field foul line. Whitman comes up and throws a bullet over to second. Colby with the tag, and just sliding in safely was Ashton Myers. That thing looked to be an easy double, then Whitman had other ideas up there on the left field foul line. So leadoff double here for Ashton Myers, 5th hit of the day here for MVNU as they trail 12-1, batting here in the top half of the 4th. Brings up the catcher, Drew Ritchie, who flew out to center his first time up. Patton still on the mound. After giving up that 2-out solo home run in the bottom of the 1st, he has been lights out since, scattering just now 4 hits after the double for Myers, who now stands at second. A ball to the catcher, Ritchie. And then Patton will step off the bump. Devin Pearl, the left fielder, waits on deck, who singled his first time up. The 1-0. Low, covered up by Watson behind the plate. 2-0. A win today for Matt would be his 9th of the year, would surpass his entire win total his first 3 seasons here at TU. 3rd one, this one off the end of the bat towards Atkins and right. Backpedals, makes the catch. He'll let the cutoff man Colby for out number 1. Devin Pearl will step in for the 2nd time today. Patton has been a swing guy his first 3 years, moving between the bullpen and the starting rotation. But after a dominant start to the season, he has solidified his spot as the number 1 starter here on the Trojan staff this year. Was an honorable mention all Crossroads League selection back there in 2016. And the first one at the knees for a called strike to Devin Pearl, the lefty left fielder. Well, that's not good. A friend tried to put a blanket around her friend and then elbowed her right in the head. That's not good for anybody, particularly when it's this cold. Just clean elbow right to the noggin. Just squared. Ground ball hit right side. Colby has it squirt up between his legs and bounce into center field. They wave Myers around from second. And the second run of the day comes home here for Mount Vernon Nazarene on a well-struck ball there from Devin Pearl. So go down as an error to Colby. And the second run home of the day for MVNU.
Now batting shortstop Adam Goodpaster.
So it's now 12-2 the Taylor lead after the error there over at second. First pitch sent down the left field line. Whitman will hustle after it, but it'll reach earth before it can reach his glove. 1 strike. Good pass for the new shortstop after the injury to the starting shortstop Klein back there in the bottom of the 3rd. Second one, backdoor breaking ball back on the outside half, and the lefty Goodpaster trails 0-2. He singled to center his first time up. He's got Pearl standing over there at first base. 3rd one, that one will bounce away from Watson, looks up and he'll watch Pearl advance over to second on the wild pitch. It's a ball and a strike to Goodpaster. Fights it off. It'll bounce foul at the first base line. One ball, 2 strikes to the shortstop, Adam Goodpaster. 6-foot freshman from Carlisle, Ohio. Pearl stands at second after the wild pitch. This one lifted into left. Whitman charging. Makes a leading catch on the sprint. 2 outs here at the top of the 4th for MVNU.
Now batting third baseman Jack Griffith.
So a man in scoring position here for Mount Vernon Nazarene for the number 9 batter, third baseman Jack Griffith. And the fastball from Patton misses inside for a ball. The righty Jack Griffith, 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging to end things for Mount Vernon Nazarene in the top of the 2nd. Patton steps off and steps back on. As activity continues for Mount Vernon Nazarene in the bullpen to our right. Second one, swing and a miss, 1-1 to Griffith. Third pitch. Off the end of the bat, lifted up, and foul to the parking lot. Two outs, a runner at second. Taylor up by 10, 12-2. Patton deals. Breaking ball to the outside half, but high. 2-2. Patton with his 2 strikeouts on the day. Trying to get his third right here. 2-2. And Griffith will stay alive, sending another one to the parking lot off the end of the bat. Griffith ended the day batting .273. 6 for 22 at the plate with a pair of doubles and 2 runs batted in. He's 0 for 1 so far today with a strikeout, staying alive. And waits another 2-2. Well hit left side. Lane charges it short. Fires a bullet across the diamond. Taggart will make the catch at his knees, leaning forward. Nice play there by Lane over there at short. 1 run home for MVNU. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on. 1's all across the board. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Taylor up by 10, 12-2. This is Taylor Baseball on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
First pitch swinging Brett Lawson. He'll go 2 for 2 on the day as he singles off the first one from the lefty Jacob Rowe to start things off here in the bottom of the 4th for TU. That's their 11th hit of the day, and Lawson now the 3rd Trojan with multiple hits here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Jacob Rowe, the lefty, 5'11", sophomore from Wheelersburg, Ohio. Bunt from Tanner Colby will roll foul up the third base line. Rowe, a 1-1 overall record, his 11th appearance on the hill, a 5.21 ERA, 13 strikeouts to 14 walks. 16 runs allowed, 11 have been earned, and opponents have batted .269 against him this season. Second one low for a ball. Christian Bacon, the second pitcher used by MVNU, came in there after the first three batters reached in the bottom of the third. And the lefty Rowe misses low to the lefty Colby, and it's 2-1. Bacon went a full inning. 2 hits, a run. It was earned. He walked one, hit one, and struck out one. Okay, they're up 12-2 as they bat here in the bottom of the fourth. The 2-1 from Rowe. And Colby off the inside part of the bat. It will bloop into right center field. And Loss will jog down to second. Back-to-back hits here for the Trojans to lead things off here in the fourth. And that sets things up for Wyatt Whitman, with Taylor up 12-2.
Now batting left fielder Wyatt Whitman.
And Wyatt's only home run, the only home run last week, when these two teams met last week, came when track practice was going on, and track practice is going on right now. He'll have to fight a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from left field. But we talked about the prowess that Wyatt had during home track meets a year ago. Had 4 home runs in the 6 home games that coincided with track meets. As he's down 0-2 here. Slugged over 1,000. Hit about 375. And he had a home run on track. Practice was going on last week. We should probably notify the young ladies jogging around the track right now that 11 and White is at the plate. 0-2. Curveball. He'll send this one high in the air towards left. As Pearl comes over into the gap, he'll make the catch for out number 1. Everybody retreats back to first and second base, respectively. Tanner Watson, the last Trojan, to collect a hit today, so all 9 in the order have collected. There's going to be 8 out of the 9 have collected at least 1 hit. Wee's the only one without a hit. Tanner was the only one to not reach base safely before his last at-bat when he singled through the left side of the infield. He bats here with Lawson at second and Colby at first. And a changeup will miss low for a ball. Tanner 1 for 3 here this afternoon. Struck out his first 2 times up. And then singled off of Christian Bacon an inning ago. Second one from the lefty Rowe. And Watson will rip this one towards center field. Good jump by Mosier in center. He'll camp underneath and make the catch for out number 2. Taylor with batting here in the bottom of the fourth. Their lead down to 10. The game 1 of the doubleheader here this afternoon.
Batting first baseman Nathan Taggart.
No run rule here in the 7-run game, so they will play the full 7. But then the second game scheduled to go 9. First and second for the first baseman Nathan Taggart. Late move on the breaking ball. Outside half taken for a strike. Nathan 2 for 3 today with RBI singles his last 2 times at the plate. Curveball, high and away, 1-1. Nathan batting just below 450. Team best 63 hits now on the year. Has driven in a best 35 runs in the campaign as well. Third one, inside, and Taggart will take for a strike, 1-2. The 1-2. Outside part of the plate, foul tipped into the glove as Taggart down on strikes for the first time today. First time in the last 3 innings that the Trojans have been unable to push a run across. We are to the top of the 5th. Taylor up 12-2. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Founded in 1950, Central Indiana Orthopedics began its tradition of offering compassionate expert treatment for patients with bone, joint, and muscle injuries and conditions. CIO doctors and staff continue that tradition today and provide specialized care in the following areas: ankle, back, elbow, foot, hand, hip, joint replacement and revision, knee, neck, physical medicine and rehabilitation, shoulder, spine, sports medicine, and wrist. CIO has locations in Anderson, Elwood, Fishers, Marion, Muncie, and Portland. The Anderson, Muncie, and Fishers offices also have walk-in clinics for acute injuries less than 2 weeks old, which do not require a referral or appointment. The doctors and specialized staff of CIO proudly serve as the official team doctors for Taylor University, as well as several area high schools and universities. To make an appointment or find out other information about Central Indiana Orthopedics, they can be reached at 800-622-6575 or at ciocenter.com. We've played 4 here in Upland, Indiana. The Trojans lead Mount Vernon Nazarene 12-2 on the back of 12 hits. 7 runs in the bottom of the second, 5 in the bottom of the third when they batted around in both innings. Top of the order up, Corey Clark will bat for the first time today. And he'll take a slider inside for a strike. Clark came in off the bench, 5'8" freshman from Waynesville, Ohio. The second one low, a fastball to make it 1-1. He replaces the starter at shortstop, Chris Klein, who hurt his hand there in the bottom of the third inning, taking a line drive to the gloved left hand from Josh Lane, the shortstop. He'll swing and miss at a breaking ball here, does Clark, and he falls behind 1-2. So Clark comes into play second base, good pass to the start at second, shifted over to short. 1-2 low, and the count squares it to apiece. Clark batting 180 on the year, 9 for 50. One of those 9 hits a triple. He's driven in 5 runs, playing in his 25th game. 2-2, inside below the knees. It's 3-2. Taylor's already scored at least 10 runs for the 4th game in a row, trying to win their 4th straight contest. And a 3-2 pitch fouled off from Clark to stay alive. He leads things off here at the top of the 5th, then Mosier and Stout will follow him. 2 runs allowed by Patton today, 1 earned. 5 hits have been scattered, no walks, and 2 strikeouts for the senior right-hander. The payoff pitch. Well-struck ball. That's just past the diving lane at short. It'll bounce into center field. 6th hit of the day for MVNU. The first one for Clark in his first at-bat, and the leadoff man on for MVNU for the 2nd time in a row and the 2nd time today.
Now batting center fielder Nick Mosier.
Nick Mosier, the lefty center fielder, steps in for the 3rd time here this afternoon. Patton out of the stretch, bunts off the end of the bat, and that'll one hop towards the Taylor dugout to our left. Game 2 starter Clay Riggins starts his warm-up out on the turf over at Turner Stadium to our left. A strike to Mosier. Beautifully thrown breaking ball and a swing and a miss from Mosier. He's down 0-2. Mosier single to center his last time up. Patton, the righty, out of the stretch, kicks and drives it home. This one will be golfed into center field once again. It'll hop softly in front of Weiss. Back-to-back singles here for MVNU to start things off here at the top of the 5th. They've got men at 1st and 2nd with nobody out. For Jesse Stout, who drove in their first run of the day, back there in the bottom of the top of the 1st. Stout took Patton deep, the first home run allowed by the senior right-hander this year, as he sent that one over the right field fence to give Mount Vernon Nazarene a 1-0 lead. Then the Trojans were retired in order in the bottom of the first. Then they put up 12 in the second and third, and they lead 12-2 right now. First one to Stout. Bounces in, covered up by Watson. 1-0. As we see senior right-hander Rob Fox jogging down to the bullpen to start warming up. Austin Medica will do the catching for him. As Fox known to be able to get warmed up very quickly. Sidearm delivery from Patton will find the zone to make it 1-1. So if Patton gets into any more trouble here, Patton will be ready at a moment's notice. 1-1 the count to Stout, who's 1 for 2 this afternoon. Back to the breaking ball goes Patton, low and away, 2-1. Stout, the team leader in home runs, now with 12. No one with more than 2 up and down the roster. First 2 men have reached base safely. That's Clark at second and Mosier over at first after their back-to-back singles. Fourth one from Patton. Ripped. That'll bounce away off the heel of Lawson's glove and roll into foul territory left side. 1 run will score. Whitman will come up and he'll throw it into the infield. Advancing over to second will be Stout. Third run home of the day for MVNU, and they're to within 9. Second RBI of the day for Stout. They've got runners at second and third with nobody gone, and they trail 12-3. And that'll bring pitching coach Devin Wilburn out of the dugout for the first time today. Good to see Coach Wilburn back here at the field. Was laid up in bed for about a week with the flu. Was a big fan of that game, that online game, Fortnite. We know Coach Wilburn got plenty of hours of Fortnite in when he started feeling better. First 3 men have reached base safely here in the top of the 5th for MVNU. They have trimmed their deficit down to 9 at 12-3. Singles from Clark and Mosier. And then Stout advanced over to second, even though Whitman held on to it there on the left field side. So the double for Stout. He's got 2 of the 3 extra base hits for him for Mount Vernon Nazarene today. As they have runners in scoring position with nobody out, top of the 5th. Ground ball right side. Taggart will knock it down over at first. Gets back up. Sliding flip from his knees. Patton will get it. They'll say the ball was out of his glove and he was off the base. And so score Mosier from third. 2 runs home here in this 5th inning on the air. Second one of the day for the Taylor infield. As MVNU starting to get to Patton here in the top of the 5th, now trailing by 8.
Now batting the DH, Ashton Myers.
And that'll bring in Rob Fox. So Patton's day will come to a close. He is responsible for the men at first and third. We will give you his line and introduce you to Rob Fox when we come back from this commercial break. It's 12-4 Taylor here as MVNU bats the top of the 5th with nobody out.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
Now pitching number 18, Rob Fox.
First time Taylor's had a call to the bullpen here today. It'll be the senior right-hander Rob Fox from nearby Muncie, Indiana. Rob comes in with an 0-1 overall record, a 3.65 ERA. Men at first and third, those will be the responsibility of Patton if they come around to score. But the first four men have reached base safely here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. They've pushed across 2 runs here in the fifth and have trimmed their deficit down to 8. Breaking ball in there inside half. Called strike to Ashton Myers, the DH. Patton went 4 innings, allowed 7 hits. Make it 8 hits, excuse me. 4 runs, 3 earned. Struck out 2 on 82 pitches. This one lined towards Whitman and left. He'll make the catch on the run. Runner tags from third. He'll throw it into second, so the runner, that will be Stout, will score easily from third base on the sacrifice fly. And the Taylor lead down to 7 here with 3 runs coming home in the top of the 5th for Mount Vernon Nazarene.
Batting the catcher, Lucci.
Glover still standing over there at first base. And the breaking ball in there for a strike to Drew Ritchie, the catcher. Second one. This one lifted towards Weiss in center. He'll come in, and that will land between he and Lane at short. A quick throw to second. They will not be able to get Glover out over there, and a bloop single to center. Puts runners at first and second here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. With only 1 gone, they trail 12-5 here in this 7-inning contest of game number 1 of the double dip. First hit of the day for Ritchie. And that brings up the lefty, Devin Pearl. Pearl 1 for 2, but has reached base safely both times. Slider in outside half to the lefty Pearl for a strike. He singled to right field his first time up. And then reached on the fielding error from Tanner Colby at second his last time at the plate. That one low. Watson covers it up. It sounded like someone from the Mount Vernon Nazarene coaching staff wanted their runners to take off and said they stay where they are. It's Glover at second and Ritchie at first. One out, 2 on. Off speed, high and away on the changeup from Fox. Ritchie looking, or excuse me, Pearl with Ritchie over there at first. That's his first hit of the day. Logan Cottonbrook over there pinch running for him at first. This one popped up, but foul to our left and out of play. So Cottonbrook, the courtesy runner for the catcher Ritchie at first base. 1 out, 2 men on, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes for the left fielder, the left-handed bat of Devin Pearl. Pearl reaches out towards it, doesn't swing, it's 3-2. Adam Goodpaster on deck as Mountford and Nazarene putting together best inning at the plate here so far. Fox will pivot off the mound. That will send Glover darting back to second. 3 runs home for Mountford and Nazarene on 4 hits. An error for Taylor in this inning as well, and they've drawn to within 7. Payoff pitch from Fox. Swing and a miss. Here's his first strikeout of the day, and more importantly, 2 outs for Mountford and Nazarene here at the top of the 5th.
Now batting shortstop Adam Goodpaster.
So Adam Goodpaster, the shortstop. The last one and the last hope here for Mount Vernon Nazarene in the top of the 5th as they try to continue to cut into this now 7-run deficit. Breaking ball away from the lefty Goodpaster, who's 1 for 2 this afternoon. Glover at second. Cottonbrook, courtesy running for the catcher Ritchie. He is over at first. Down the middle of the plate, breaking ball. Just a little bit low, it's 2-0. Fox is a good get-out-of-the-inning pitcher. Trying to do that right here. 2-0 to Goodpaster. That breaking ball comes back in high and then came down as Goodpaster looks on in disbelief at strike number 1. Fourth pitch. Back to the outside half. Goodpaster takes it for strike 2. And that levels the count at 2 apiece, 2 outs, 2 men on. As Mountford and Nazarene now trails by 7. 5th one from Fox. Back to the outside part of the plate. That one is low. And Goodpaster watches it slide in there for ball number 3. A walk here would load the bases with 2 outs. We'll see if Fox can get out of the inning here with that wind howling out towards right field. Fox delivers. That one loops in there right at the belt for a called strike 3. Goodpaster was ready to jog down to first instead. He'll have to jog back to the dugout. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 3 runs home for Mountford and Nazarene. They've trimmed the deficit down to 7. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Now batting the DH, Andrew Kennedy.
Bottom of the 5th, we'll see if Taylor can answer here as Kennedy will miss one upstairs. For a strike, it'll be Kennedy, Weiss, and Atkins. The ones coming up for Taylor here in the bottom of the 5th. Justin Pettit will start warming up in the bullpen to our left. Second one, curveball. Kennedy swings and misses, and he's down 0-2. Second full inning of work here for the lefty Jacob Rowe. After coming in to start things off there in the fourth. 3 runs came home in the top half of this inning from Mount Vernon Nazarene. Inside breaking ball will freeze Kennedy. He's down on 3 straight pitches. Second strikeout for Jacob Rowe. And the momentum that MVNU created at offense in the top half of this inning is spilt over to Rowe here in the bottom half of the inning. So 1 out for Sam Weiss. He's the only Trojan without a hit here so far today, but he's reached base safely twice. Late action away from the lefty Rowe, ball 1. Sam just 0 for 1 today, but batting for the 4th time. Walked and scored in the second, was hit by a pitch in the third with the bases full. And that one's inside, 2-0. So Pettit starts to warm up in the bullpen to our left. We'll expect to see him when we make our way to the top of the 6th. 1 out, no one on. Wind blowing out towards right field. Another one inside from the lefty Rowe. It's 3 balls and no strikes for Sam Weiss. And that one Weiss will take at the belt for a strike. Sam started the day batting .323, 42 hits for the Trojans this year. That's 4th best on the team. 3-1, late action again. Outside half and the count now full. Back-to-back strikes thrown here from the lefty Rowe. Payoff pitch. Inside, Weiss will rope this one towards the bullpen. And the count remains full. 1 out, no one on here for Taylor in the bottom of the 5th. They've seen their 10-run lead narrowed down to 7. Ground ball up the middle. That will go off the diving glove of Clark at second. They still get the throw over to first. Weiss will leg it out. And now all 9 batters in the order for the Trojans today have collected at least a hit. And they've got a base runner on here with 1 out for Jared Atkins. That could have been a scary play there for Clark as he tries to work out the glove on his left hand as he went diving over. His wrist kind of rolled with it as well, and he kind of rolled over onto it, but seems to be okay over there at second. Good pass to Clark. They're a double play depth in the middle of the infield. First one to Atkins, a fastball up high for ball 1. Jared 1 for 2 this afternoon, batting for the 4th time. Will swing and miss. That one gets away from the catcher, Ritchie, and so Weiss will dart down to second. That's a strike to Atkins. Jared singled on a bunt his first time up, later scored. Walked and scored in the 3rd, then popped out his second go-around in that 3rd inning. 1 out, runner at second. Taylor up by 7. Clark shadowing the cover over at second. And then Atkins will send this one to deep left center field going back, and that one will land at the bottom of the fence. Weiss will coast around from second as he and Atkins will switch places. A double for Jared Atkins, and Taylor leads 13-5 here with 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th. Still only 1 out, runner back in scoring position for Josh Lane, who swung the bat well as of late. Nobody covering Atkins at second. Lane will try to bunt his way on. That one will take a hard left turn up the third base line. And a foul ball to Lane. Josh 2 for 3 this afternoon. A pair of singles his first 2 times up. Then he popped out in foul ground to end things as Taylor batted around for the 2nd inning in a row there in the 3rd. 2 RBIs in the single in the 2nd. No RBIs in the 3rd. But he came around to score both times. Atkins with the RBI double stands at second after scoring Weiss. Both middle infielders converge. Nobody covers for the pickoff attempt from Rowe. As Taylor back in front by 8. Sitting on a curveball. Well done there by Lane as that one goes up the left field line. They wave Atkins in from second. Lane will try to leg it out to second. He'll be thrown out with easy. Tries to dance away, but he's tagged out on the leg as Atkins will score from second, and Taylor leads now by 9. As Lane tried to leg that one out from first to second, almost was able to dance his way around Clark, the second baseman, but there are 2 outs to the Trojans here in Brett Lawson.
Now batting third baseman Brett Lawson.
So that brings up Brett Lawson with nobody on and 2 outs, and Taylor back in front by 9. They've almost completely erased the 3 runs allowed in the top half of this inning. Lawson will swing for the fences and miss and can make the count 1-1. Brett has reached base safely all 3 times he's been to the plate today. Highlight being that 3-run homer in the third. This one off the end of the bat will be snagged on a sliding catch by Clark over there at second base. So the Trojans answer with 2 of their own here in the bottom of the 5th. Their lead back to 9 as we head to the top half of the 6th. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Justin Pettit coming in to pitch here for TU.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Five innings in the books here from Winter Holder Field. Third pitcher on the day here for TU. It'll be Justin Pettit. Chopper left side, Lawson to first, and there's one gone, retiring Jack Griffith, the third baseman. He's 0 for 3 on the day as Pettit comes in for the first time. 6'3" sophomore right-hander worked his way up from the JV squad a season ago. Appearing in his 6th contest, he has a 1-0 overall record, a 6.75 ERA. Has struck out 6, walked 1, and opponents batting .321 against him this season. Back to the top of the order we go, and Corey Clark, who bats for the 2nd time today. And a curveball there from Pettit finds his own for a strike. That is his best pitch, and he has thrown it well over his last few outings. Second one. Curveball again. And just like the first pitch, it's in there for a strike. Pettit had a really great summer, which helped him move up to the varsity squad after the fall year. Breaking ball, he goes around for strike number 3. That's 3 straight breaking balls thrown by Pettit. He's got 2 outs here quickly in the top half of the 6th. One more out to be the first 1-2-3 inning for a member of the Taylor pitching staff here this afternoon. It'll be lefty Nick Mosier trying to prevent that. He's done well at the plate here today for the visitors from Ohio. Shows bunt, and a fastball in there at the knees for a strike. Mosier 2 for 3 with his 2 singles coming the last 2 times at the plate. Late action on that curveball to the outside corner. Strike number 2. Nice pitch there from Pettit. Pettit looking for the 1-2-3 inning. The 0-2. Fastball upstairs. Mosier won't chase. 1-2. 14-5, the TU lead. Pettit the 1-2. Curveball again. Just getting a piece of that was Mosier on the inside part of the bat. And now the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 6th. Taylor looking for the first 1-2-3 inning here of the afternoon. They lead by 9. As Pettit deals out of the stretch. Inside. Chopper right side. Taggart tries to backhand it. Goes out of his glove. Slides. And the runner will be safe over at first in Mosier. So no 1-2-3 inning for the Trojans here at the top of the 6th. As Mosier safe over there at first. That'll be an error against Taggart. His 2nd error of the day. And a runner at first with 2 gone for the right fielder Stout. Stout 2 for 3 on the day. His 2 hits have brought home runs for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Fastball high to the righty Stout for a ball. 2-out solo homer for Stout there in the top of the 1st, and then he doubled home another run back in the 5th. Late action on the curveball from Pettit. Misses high and inside. It's 2-0. Stout, the team leader in home runs with 12 after that solo homer in the 1st. Mosier takes his lead at 2nd. 3rd one. And the fastball high and inside. It's now 3-0. A good start there for Pettit. Got the first 2 men out on a ground out on the first pitch of the inning and then a strikeout on 3 pitches to Clark, but he's in danger here of allowing his 2nd straight batter to reach base safely. And the 3-0 will find the zone to make it 3-1. Wind blowing out towards right center field as Pettit will deal out of the stretch. 3-1, chopped up the 3rd baseline, but that'll bounce foul. That makes the count all full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jake Glover waits on deck for MVNU. As Pettit will toe the rubber and get ready to deal home a 3-2. Infield back, nobody covering Mosier. He'll head down to 2nd. That's a foul ball from Stout, so that'll send Mosier back to 1st. Nine hits for those 5 runs for Mount Vernon Nazarene today. 14 runs on 15 hits for the Trojans. TU did most of their damage in the 2nd and 3rd when they put up 7 runs in the 2nd and 5 in the 3rd. Another 3-2. Runner goes. Curveball. Ground ball left side. There's Lane at short. He'll fire it across the diamond. A high throw. Taggart keeps that right toe on the bag. For out number 3, we head to the bottom of the 6th with Taylor leading by 9, 14-5. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
New pitcher here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. They'll move the DH Ashton Myers to the hill. And they'll go against a pinch hitter here in the lefty Austin Medica out of Prosper, Texas. Myers appearing his third time on the hill. No record of note, a 22.50 ERA. Just 2 innings thrown for the junior from Zanesville, Ohio, but he'll fool Medica on an off-speed pitch here, and he puts him down 0-2. Medica trying to find his groove here towards the end of the year, batting just .268, 22 hits, 3 doubles, a triple, and a pair of home runs. And the third one low and away for a ball. Austin, the transfer from Eastfield at the middle of the year a year ago, part of another that now adds as another member of that stellar junior class for the Taylor baseball program. 1-2. And the breaking ball high and away, 2-2. So it's Myers, the righty, against the left-handed bat of Medica, who does have plenty of power, and his power alleys where the wind is blowing today. That's over the right field fence. The 2-2 from Myers. Inside, Medica will fight it off and send it to the screen. Medica 6'3", 200 pounds. Then you have Whitman and Watson waiting behind him. 14-5, the Taylor lead as they bat here in the bottom of the 6th. Inside pitch, that one will just catch the top of the net again. And it remains 2-2. The 37th game that Medica has played this season. Lost 10 pounds from a year ago to get back to an even 200. Also switched his number from 34 to 21. Inside again, this one on the inside handle of the bat. Third straight foul ball with 2 strikes. Really trying to find something to turn on here. Both of our home runs this afternoon have gone over the right center field fence, but both have been from right-handed bats. The 2-2. And that one low and inside, and Medica's worked the count full, 3-2. He replaces the second baseman Tanner Colby, who had a good day at the dish, going 2 for 3. Batting out of the number 9 spot here this afternoon in game number 1. Myers, 4th pitcher used by Mount Vernon Nazarene in the first game of the doubleheader. The 3-2 to Medica. Inside, and they get the pinch hitter to pop up. 4th foul with 2 strikes for the Texan. With Whitman standing on deck. And track practice in full swing behind the left field fence. Another payoff to Medica. Straightens it out just a little bit, but it's foul again, this time out of play to the left. 5th foul ball with 2 strikes from Medica as he leads things off here in the bottom of the 6th. Game 1 of our doubleheader here this afternoon, set to go 7 innings. Game 2 to go the full 9. Myers taking his time. The righty against the lefty Medica. 3-2. This time Medica will pop it up to the middle of the field. Good pass for the shortstop, comes all the way over. After being told to take it from Corey Clark, the second baseman. And there's one gone for Taylor here in the bottom of the 6th, leading by 9.
Now batting, left fielder Wyatt Whitman.
So back to the top of the order we go, and Wyatt Whitman, 1 for 3 today, batting for the 5th time. Off speed high for a ball. Had a bases clearing 3 RBI double in the 2nd. Walked and scored in the 3rd. He later scored in that 2nd inning as well. He's been retired the 2 other times he's been to the plate. He'll swing and miss. Take him back to his heels on a breaking ball there, and it's 1-1. Taylor has already scored at least 10 runs for the 4th game in a row, trying to win their 4th straight game as well. Off speed inside to the righty Whitman, 2-1. A win today would also be Taylor's 19th straight here at home and move the home record to 19-1. 4th one to Whitman. We'll foul it off to our right, 2-2. The only loss for TU at home this season came to then number 19 IU Southeast back on Valentine's Day by a final of 11-3. 2-2 from Myers to Whitman. Rips this one into left. There's his 2nd hit of the day, the 16th of the day for the Trojans. And TU's got a man on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, leading by 9.
Now batting, the catcher Tanner Watson.
1 out, and Whitman already standing over at first. Watson flew out to center his last time up, the first one here a ball. As Myers, the 4th pitcher used by Mountain Vernon Nazarene today. The starter Peyton Booth went 2 innings, went into the 3rd, but allowed the first 3 batters to reach there in the 3rd, including a 3-run shot from Brett Lawson to give Taylor a 10-1 lead at that point. They pushed it to 12-1. And since then, Mountain Vernon Nazarene has outscored Taylor 4-2 since that inning. 2 balls and no strikes to the catcher Tanner Watson with 1 hit already today. And it's now 3-0. The starting 9 in the order today all have at least 1 hit and all have reached base safely at least once. And a 3-0 right down the middle, taken at the belt for a strike. Tanner singled and scored in the 3rd for his only hit of the day. He struck out twice already today. And Whitman stands at first, already with a steal to his credit today as well. 3-1 low. That one gets away from the catcher, Richie. Whitman takes 2 looks over as the catcher picks it up from the backstop. And that puts men at first and second. Here for Nathan Taggart as Kelsheimer comes in to run for Watson at first. Taggart went 4 for 4 against Grace last week, but actually had an opportunity to go 5 for 5, but had a grand slam taken away at the fence to make him go just a measly 4 for 4. He'll golf the first one out to play to the right for a foul. Look down, we see Christian McGill coming on the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit for the DH Andrew Kennedy. If Taggart can avoid the double play with 1 out. A strike to 14 and white. Myers will pivot off the mound. That will send Whitman back to second. Taylor up 14-5 here as they bat in the bottom of the 6th. 2 on and 1 out. Curveball. Taggart will dribble this one up the first base side. Myers pounces on it, then fumbles it forward, then underhands it over to first. Did he even throw it? Yeah, he did. I didn't even see the ball get transitioned from Myers to Glover, but it'll be a ground out, 1-3 on the put out for Taggart. Move the runners up 1 base, and 2 outs for Christian McGill, the pinch hitter.
Pitch hitting for Taylor, number 2, Christian McGill.
McGill, a 5'10 sophomore from Cicero, Indiana. Batting .267 on the year, playing in his 32nd game. 8 hits, a double, and a triple make them up this year. Curveball, that one will go right past Myers on the mound. It'll score Whitman from third. They'll wave Kelsheimer around from second. That'll be a 2-out, 2 RBI single for the pinch hitter Christian McGill. The Trojans push their lead back to double digits. They're up 16-5 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Sam Weiss.
Center fielder Sam Weiss.
Curveball will bounce away from Ritchie, and there goes McGill down to second. Weiss 1 for 2 today, but batting for the 5th time. He walked and scored in the 2nd. Was hit by a pitch and drove in a run with the bases full in the 3rd, and then singled and scored an inning ago in the 5th. McGill's good lead at second. Curveball upstairs to Weiss to make it 2-0. The 16 runs by Taylor, the most they've scored in a single game all year. And the off-speed 2-0 will find the outside half of the plate. th time this season that they've scored at least 10 runs. They should make it the 12th, excuse me. They've won 6 out of their last 7 games. In 5 of those wins, they've scored at least 10 runs. And the 3-1 upstairs, and Weiss will jog down to first on the walk. So 2 outs and now 2 on for the right fielder, Jared Atkins. 16-5, the Taylor lead, 17 hits on the year.
Now batting right fielder Jared Atkins.
As Pettit will jog down to the bullpen to start getting warmed up once again. Atkins, good day so far. 2 for 3 here in game number 1. He's also walked as well. Curveball in there for a strike. The 3 times Jared has reached base safely today, he has also come around to score, including an RBI double his last time up. Second one, breaking ball away, 1-1. Shortstop Josh Lane waits on deck. With TU ahead 16-5, here's they bat in the bottom of the 6th. 2 runs already home. Atkins sits on a breaking ball. It's 2-1. Jared, the 7th batter of the inning for the Trojans. And the 2-1 for Myers. They get Atkins to pop it up towards the left side of the park. Good pass to the shortstop in short left field. He'll track it and make the catch for the 3rd out here in the bottom of the 6th. Taylor increases their lead to 16-5. We are at the top of the 7th. Taylor 3 outs away from winning their 4th game in a row. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Top of the 7th, Justin Pettit in for his second full inning of work. 3 defensive changes for the Trojans. Cody Tate comes in for Tanner Colby to play second base. Brian Fields replaces Taggart over at first. And Austin Medica behind the plate, replacing Tanner Watson. First one from Pettit to the first baseman Glover for a called strike. Taylor up 16-5. Top half of the 7th to end potentially game 1 here. Swing and a miss from Glover, and he's quickly down 0-2. Glover 0 for 3 today, but reached on the fielding error from Taggart back in the 5th. Also drove in a run as well. And the 0-2 from Pettit. Upstairs, Glover won't chase. It's 1-2. Myers and Ritchie, the ones due up to follow him. Fourth one from Pettit. Swing and a miss. Got away from Medica. They'll pick it up down to first. And there was one gone here at the top of the 7th. First strikeout for Pettit. All three, Taylor pitchers have at least one strikeout so far in their outings here today. So with 1 out, nobody on top of the 7th, that'll bring in the pitcher Ashton Myers, who started this game as the DH and then came into pitch in the home half of the 6th. Pettit out of the stretch. He gets Myers to pop it up to the infield. Lane, with his mouth covered by the protective hood, screams out that it's his, and he catches it. About 10 paces to his left or right of second base. And there are 2 outs for MVNU here in game number 1. With a pinch hitter coming up for MVNU. It'll be number 17, Kobe Miller.
I don't know. Where'd she go? She might have went out to, did she go out?
Miller comes into the day batting .243, 9 hits in his 37 at-bats. He takes the first one from a strike from Pettit. Same 2 teams to close out the season series in a 9-inning game after this one comes to a close. Backdoor curveball from Pettit, away from the lefty Miller for a ball. Miller, 5'10", sophomore from Millersburg, Ohio. A double and a triple and 3 runs batted in. Half swing, fouls it back, and he's down to his final strike here at the top of the 7th. 16-5, the Taylor lead on 17 hits. 16 runs, the most Taylor has put up in a single game here this season. The 1-2. Lined just over the jumping lane at short. And a 2-out single here for the pinch hitter Colby Miller will keep the top of the 7th rolling.
Left fielder Devin Pearl.
So 2 outs, 1 on. Sun coming out from behind the clouds here in the top of the 7th with Mount Vernon Nazarene trailing by 11. And that brings up Pearl. Curveball. Nicely thrown there from the righty Pettit for a strike. Pearl a single, then reached on an error and struck out swinging his 3 previous times at the plate today. He'll foul off the 0-1, and he's down to his last strike. 2 outs, no balls, and 2 strikes to the left fielder Devin Pearl. Game 1 of the doubleheader here as Mount Vernon Nazarene bats in the top of the 7th. The 0-2 from Pettit. Curveball in there, freezes him. Nicely done there from Pettit. Picks up his second strikeout as all 3 pitchers for Taylor here in game number 1 collect at least 2 strikeouts. We will pause momentarily and come back and wrap this one up. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on Scripture and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel. Boy, do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going. It's about the sharing of those experiences and being challenged by those who come to Upland as their international experience. Taylor is one of a few Christian colleges that expects all students to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, this doesn't mean Taylor is a Christian Disneyland full of cardboard cutout perfection. Taylor is full of real people with real problems, and living together can get kind of messy. But in that mess, we take Jesus' call from John 13 seriously. We practice picking up our towel and dealing with the mess in each other's lives. We're not here just to follow the rules for 4 years. Instead, we hope to learn to live authentic lives, calling each other to lives of meaning. Every day, our focus remains on the 40, not just the 4. We'd love to show you more about Taylor. Come visit. Sit in on a class, go to chapel, spend a night in a residence hall. Experience the difference for yourself.
Ivanhoe's post-game show here for game number 1. Taylor wins, going away by a final of 16-5. They collected 17 hits, 3 errors, and they stranded 8. Mount Vernon Nazarene, 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors, and they also stranded 8. Taking the win today for Taylor's Matt Patton, his 9th win of the year. He improves to 9-3. Peyton Booth, the starter for Mount Vernon Nazarene, takes a loss. He went 1. He now falls to 1-6 on the year. Taylor had 3 extra base hits today. Wyatt Whitman with a 3 RBI double in the second, a 3-run homer for Brett Lawson, and an RBI double for Jared Adkins. So good days all around for the Trojan Bats as they scored 7 in the bottom of the second, 5 in the bottom of the third. They tacked on 2 more in the bottom of the 5th and 6th. So they've taken the first 2 games for Mount Vernon Nazarene. They'll go for the season sweep in our 9-inning contest coming up in about 25 minutes. This has been a presentation of Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. We'll talk to you in about 25 minutes.